Most people hope for a long life, but few realize that longevity isn't a guarantee, it's a skill. Many see their strength and vitality start to vanish not at 90, but just after 60, and it's rarely a single, dramatic event that causes this. It's a series of quiet surrenders, small, daily choices and overlooked signals that drain your energy, dull your senses, and weaken your will. If you're over 60, this isn't a forecast, this is an urgent briefing, because the next year of your life isn't just another year, it's the foundation for how you will live out all the rest. And the final point we'll cover is the one everyone feels but nobody says. First, they abandon intentional movement. Your body is like a river. If the flow stops, the water stagnates. As people age, purposeful movement often becomes an afterthought, something for a sunny day or when they feel particularly energetic. But biology is not a negotiation. Your body is the most honest listener you will ever have. It pays attention to your actions, not your intentions. When you stop giving it reasons to be strong, it doesn't just rest, it begins a strategic retreat. Muscle fibers thin, bone matrix dissolves, balance becomes a memory and circulation slows. Your body simply obeys the instructions you're giving it. Do less, be less. This isn't a conscious choice, it's a slow drift. After retirement, the daily walk to the office is gone. You spend more hours on the couch. A flight of stairs feels like a mountain, so you take the elevator. Soon, your world shrinks from the neighborhood to the house, from the house to a single room. Movement becomes a reaction to a need, walking to the bathroom, reaching for the remote, not a proactive choice for life. But the real danger isn't just what you can see. Yes, your muscles weaken and joints ache, but the invisible cost is steeper. Movement is a language that speaks directly to your nervous system. Every intentional step, every deliberate stretch sends a powerful signal up your spine to your brain. We are still active, we are still needed. When that conversation stops, your brain's lights start to dim. You feel mentally sluggish, less sharp, and more prone to low moods. Your confidence erodes because your physical identity, the way you carry yourself, the way you occupy space, is fading. That's why shuffling around the house is not enough. It's maintenance for survival, not an investment in vitality. It's autopilot. It doesn't challenge your core, strengthen your posture, or force your nervous system to adapt. It just keeps you from falling for now, but it quietly allows the foundation of your strength to crumble. What you require is deliberate motion. Not training for a triathlon, but moving with focus. This means resistance, even if it's just your own body weight. This means stretching with presence, feeling the muscles lengthen. It means posture work to keep your spine long and your shoulders open. And it means walking with intention, preferably outside, where uneven ground forces your brain and body to stay alert. Every time you move with purpose, you are sending a biological command: stay online, I am still in the game. And your body listens. Blood flow increases, hormones find their rhythm, digestion improves, your mood brightens. You don't need a gym membership. You need to reclaim movement as a non-negotiable daily practice. Because the moment you stop, the decline doesn't ask for permission, it arrives swiftly. At first, it's subtle. Your legs feel heavy after a short walk, you feel unsteady turning a corner, but it accelerates. Muscle loss isn't a disease of age, it's a disease of disuse. Bone fragility isn't a symptom of time, it's a symptom of inactivity. Once your posture gives way, your lung capacity shrinks, your balance falters, and your belief in your own capability shatters. Movement is not a reward for feeling good. It's the engine that creates good feelings. It's the force that keeps your systems running, your mind clear, and your spirit engaged. It's the declaration to the world that you are not a bystander in your own life, you are a participant. So, ask yourself, when did you last move, not because you had to, but because you chose to? When did you last walk with your head high and shoulders back, feeling the strength in your stride? When did you last stand up tall and stretch, reminding your body it was designed for engagement, not for stillness? Don't let your comfort zone become your cage. Don't let stillness become your story. You don't need to dedicate hours. You just need to dedicate minutes, every single day, to send one clear message: I am still here, I still choose to move, I still choose to live. Because motion is the signature of life, and a vibrant life begins the moment you decide to take that next purposeful step. Second, their food becomes a sedative, not a source of strength. There's a subtle change that happens at the dinner table as we age, and it's dangerously overlooked. It begins quietly. You eat less because your appetite wanes. You prefer softer foods that are easier on the teeth, or you grab something processed because cooking for one feels like a chore. Slowly, eating shifts from an act of nourishment to an act of comfort, habit, or emotional soothing. And while comfort has its place, it becomes a problem when it's the only thing on the menu. Because after 60, your body doesn't cry out for comfort, it begs for high-quality building materials. the hard truth is your biology is different now. Stomach acid decreases, your gut microbiome alters, and your body's ability to extract key nutrients like protein, B12, and magnesium diminishes. You lose muscle more easily, store fat more readily, and become more resistant to insulin. This means the diet that served you at 30 is actively working against you at 70. If you continue to eat the same way, your body doesn't just decelerate, it begins to silently deconstruct itself from the inside out. Yet many older adults default to the familiar toast, pasta, potatoes, cereals, crackers, and sweets. These foods are easy and comforting, but they're nutritionally bankrupt. They flood your system with sugar, promote inflammation, and leave your cells starving. You might feel full, but your body is in a state of profound nutritional deficit. Over time, this deficit manifests as chronic fatigue, joint pain, mental fog, a weak immune system, and wounds that won't heal. You're not just getting old, you're becoming malnourished. And here's the part most people miss: comfort food sedate your mind just as much as it harms your body. These highly processed, carbohydrate-dense meals dull your cognitive function. They create brain inflammation, disrupt neurotransmitters, and can even amplify feelings of depression. That afternoon crash that requires a nap, that persistent brain fog, that constant feeling of being bloated and heavy. It's not your age, it's your plate. You are not what you eat, you are what your body can use. And if your cells are drowning in sugar and deprived of essential proteins and fibers, they cannot perform their duties. They can't rebuild muscle, they can't protect your organs, and they can't keep your mind sharp. When you eat primarily for comfort, you are systematically draining the vitality from your life. Your body is functioning, but it's not thriving. It's just getting by. And that's the silent transition nobody warns you about, the one from healthy aging to premature decay. So what does it mean to eat with intention? It means choosing function over familiarity. Most of the time it means making protein the centerpiece of your meals, lean meat, fish, eggs, beans, because muscle is the armor of aging. Without it, your entire structure weakens. It means embracing fiber-rich foods, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, because your digestive system requires a workout to stay efficient. It means drastically reducing sugar, not just for your waistline, but because sugar is the fuel for inflammation and an energy thief. And it means hydrating with water, because every cell in your body depends on it to communicate and operate correctly. Eating well isn't about dieting. It's about a deep respect for your body's current needs. It's about respecting your future self enough to equip it with strength today. You don't have to become a nutritionist. You just have to ask an honest question: is this meal building me up, or is it just holding me over? Am I eating to be sharp and strong, or to kill time and quiet my emotions? A single shift can start a revolution. Trading your morning toast for a couple of eggs, swapping a soda for a glass of water with lemon, adding a salad to your dinner. These small acts send a powerful signal to your body. I am paying attention. I am still invested. I want to thrive. Your body will answer with more energy, a better mood, deeper sleep, and clearer thoughts. You don't need perfect nutrition, but you absolutely need purposeful nutrition. Because after 60, food is no longer just food, it's your daily medicine. It's your armor. It's your declaration to every cell that you are not winding down. You are refueling. Third, they let their social circle collapse. Human connection is not an optional accessory for a happy life. For the aging body and brain, it is a biological necessity. It's the external regulator for your internal world, keeping your nervous system calm, your mind engaged, and your spirit anchored. But as people get older, many allow their social worlds to contract, often so gradually they don't even notice. The phone calls become less frequent. The invitations are turned down more often. The days grow silent, and this quiet, this slow, creeping isolation inflicts more biological harm than most chronic diseases. When you disconnect from meaningful relationships, your physiology changes. Research is clear: social isolation is a greater risk factor for premature mortality than obesity, excessive drinking, or even a sedentary lifestyle. It elevates stress hormones like cortisol, which suppresses your immune system and fuels inflammation. It's directly linked to cognitive decline, anxiety, depression, and heart disease. You might still be alive, but your cells are getting the message that you've begun to check out. And it happens for so many reasons. Retirement severs daily contact with colleagues. Mobility issues can make leaving the home feel like an overwhelming task. Friends move away or pass on. The phone gets quieter, and you start to accept long stretches of solitude as the new normal. But loneliness isn't normal. It's a physiological state of alarm. And what most fail to grasp is that social engagement is a form of neurological fitness. When you have a genuine conversation, your brain is performing a complex workout. You're decoding language, accessing memories, interpreting non-verbal cues, and feeling empathy. It keeps your mind flexible and resilient. A good laugh releases dopamine. A heartfelt talk builds trust. A simple hug can lower blood pressure and regulate your heartbeat. These are not trivial interactions, they are powerful biological events. When they vanish, your body starts to withdraw from the business of living. This is why just being in a room with other people isn't the cure. You need authentic connection. The kind that reassures you that you belong, that you are seen, that your presence matters. It can be a weekly phone call with a friend, coffee with a neighbor, joining a book club, or volunteering. These are not luxuries, they are vital health interventions. When you feel heard and needed, your entire biology upshifts. You hold yourself differently. You think with more clarity. Your cells receive the signal to keep living, to keep repairing. Conversely, when people stop reaching out, and crucially, stop letting in is often shockingly fast. It might start as mild forgetfulness, then your sleep quality worsens, your motivation dries up. You stop caring about your appearance, your food, your home. You begin to disappear from the inside out, long before any physical ailment takes hold. The first thing to go is rarely the body, it's the connection to life. Yes, the world can feel overwhelming and noisy. It's easier to stay home, to say no thank you, to retreat into the comfort of your own space. But that comfort is a trap. If you want to protect your mind, your health, and your emotional resilience, you must fight for connection. You don't need 100 friends. You just need a few who breathe life into your days, who listen to you, who challenge you, and who remind you that you are still an essential part of the world. You never outgrow the need for connection, you only grow into a deeper understanding of its importance. So ask yourself this: when was the last time you initiated a conversation instead of waiting for someone to call you? When did you last have a real face-to-face interaction that made you laugh, or think, or simply feel seen? When was the last time you felt the calming effect of a genuine hug? These things are not extras, they are your lifeblood. They are a core component of your longevity plan, whether you know it or not. Because here is the raw truth: the moment you unplug from the world, your body begins its preparations to leave it. But the moment you choose to plug back in, to be present, to connect, to be alive with others, your entire system shifts back towards life. You don't need a party, you need presence. Consistent, meaningful presence. Don't let your world shrink. Pick up the phone and expand it, one conversation at a time. Fourth, they treat poor sleep as an inevitable part of aging. One of the most damaging beliefs about getting older is that sleep is supposed to fall apart. That waking up every few hours, struggling to fall asleep, and feeling exhausted every morning is just a normal, acceptable part of the journey after 60. This is not just false, it's a dangerous misconception. Poor sleep isn't a benign symptom of age, it's a flashing warning light on your body's dashboard. It's a sign that your fundamental systems, your brain, your hormones, your immunity, are under stress. And when you ignore that warning, the damage silently accumulates night after night. Most people don't see the direct line between sleep and their long-term health. They view sleep as passive downtime, something that can be shortened or compromised. But sleep is not passive, it's an active, critical process of detoxification, repair, and consolidation. It's the period when your brain flushes out metabolic waste, your immune cells rebuild, your hormones rebalance, and your memories are filed away. If you're consistently getting broken, shallow sleep, you aren't just tired, you are actively accelerating the aging process. Chronic sleep deprivation literally causes the brain to shrink. This isn't a metaphor, it's a well-documented neurological fact. A sleep-deprived brain doesn't just operate more slowly, it loses physical volume over time, particularly in regions critical for memory, focus, and emotional stability. You find yourself searching for words, your patience wears thin, and you feel more anxious or irritable, not because your personality is changing, but because your brain is suffering from a lack of maintenance. The damage extends beyond the brain. Poor sleep devastates your immune system. Even a single night of inadequate rest significantly impairs your body's ability to fight off pathogens. Over the long term, it dramatically increases systemic inflammation, the very same process implicated in heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and Alzheimer's. Your joints ache more, your digestion is off. The most insidious part is that it all feels manageable, you just feel a bit off. But on the inside, a storm is brewing. Yet, so many older adults simply resign themselves to bad sleep. They say, that's just the way it is now. They rely on a sleeping pill, which induces sedation, not true restorative sleep. They leave the TV on, or scroll through their phone, thinking that as long as they get some rest, it's enough. But that kind of fragmented, chemically induced unconsciousness doesn't allow your body to do its vital repair work. It leaves your nervous system in a state of suspended animation, never fully resetting. The solution isn't just to get more sleep, it's to get better sleep. And high-quality sleep is not a matter of luck, it's a matter of discipline. It requires you to protect your natural circadian rhythm as fiercely as you would protect any other aspect of your health, because it is your health. This starts with light. Your body's clock is set by light exposure. When you're surrounded by bright lights late into the evening, you're telling your brain it's still midday. This suppresses the release of melatonin and robs you of deep sleep. The solution is simple: dim the lights in your home after sunset. Turn off bright screens at least an hour before bed. Allow your body to sense the transition from day to night. Temperature is also critical. Your body's core temperature needs to drop slightly to initiate deep sleep. A bedroom that is too warm actively prevents this. Sleeping in a cool room around 65 degrees or 18 degrees C can dramatically improve the quality and duration of your most restorative sleep stages. If you wake up restless, the thermostat might be the culprit. Consider natural aids like magnesium glycinate, which helps calm the nervous system without the side effects of sleeping pills. Combine this with simple breathwork before bed, a few minutes of slow, deep breathing to activate the rest and digest part of your nervous system, signaling that it's safe to power down. But above all, it's about making sleep a priority, not an afterthought. You wouldn't purposefully starve your body of food and expect to remain strong. You cannot consistently starve your body of quality sleep and expect your mind to stay sharp and your body resilient. Treat your bedtime as a sacred ritual, a time to disconnect from the world and reconnect with your body's need to heal. If you are sleeping poorly, don't surrender to it. Investigate it. Talk to your doctor. Rule out conditions like sleep apnea. Optimize your environment. Create a calming routine. When you finally achieve deep, restorative sleep, everything in your life improves. Your energy, your mood, your memory, your immunity. You don't need a perfect night's sleep every night, but you do need to be intentional about it. You are never too old to fix your sleep. Your body is ready and willing to repair itself, but it can only do that work when you give it the opportunity. Don't let fatigue be your new normal. Choose rest that rebuilds you, because a life of poor sleep is inevitably a shorter life. And the final reason, the one that underpins all the others, they begin to live without a purpose. This is the most difficult one to talk about, not because it's uncommon, but because it is silently epidemic. It is the moment a person stops having a reason to get out of bed in the morning, when one day blurs into the next, with no goals, no challenges, and nothing to look forward to. It isn't a loss of activity, it's a loss of direction, and when meaning evaporates, the body often follows. Purpose is not your old job title. It is not about being productive in the conventional sense. Purpose is the conscious decision to stay engaged with life. It is the why that fuels you. It could be nurturing a garden, supporting a loved one, mentoring someone younger, mastering a new skill, or simply waking up with the conviction, I still have a role to play. It's not about staying busy, it's about feeling necessary. When your nervous system understands that you are needed, it keeps all your systems firing. When it believes your role is over, it begins a quiet, systematic power down. The tragedy is that many people retire from everything, not just their career. They retire from effort, from ambition, from the very friction that kept them mentally and physically sharp. For a while, the lack of deadlines and demands feels like freedom. But prolonged stillness is not peace, it is a slow decay. The body starts to let go, muscle tone softens, posture droops, appetite wanes, sleep becomes fragile. The inner fire that once drove you dims to a faint ember. You can see it in a person's eyes, hear it in their voice, and observe it in their movements. People who once walked with intention now shuffle. Those who looked ahead now look at the ground. Their world becomes smaller, their choices safer, their spirit quieter. This is not merely the effect of time. This is the biological consequence of a life that has lost its why. When there is no mission, no one relying on you, no reason to stay strong, the body begins to prepare for its exit. It's not a conscious decision, but a physiological one. The immune system weakens because protecting a body with no future destination is inefficient. Memory fades because there is less new information worth retaining. The body, in its profound wisdom, conserves energy when it no longer detects a clear purpose for its use. But here is the incredible news. Purpose is renewable. It can be reignited at any age, in any circumstance. It doesn't demand a world-changing mission. It begins with one simple, powerful question. What am I still responsible for? That question is a spark. It awakens the nervous system. It brings focus back into the eyes and strength back into the spine. It sends a message to every cell in your body. There is still work to be done. Stay ready. Your purpose can be beautifully small, tending to a houseplant, making a weekly call to a lonely friend, reading to a grandchild, finishing a book you always meant to read, walking every day to stay strong enough to care for your spouse. You don't need an audience, you just need a responsibility, even if it's only to yourself and your own well-being. The moment you claim that responsibility, the moment you decide that your life is not a waiting room, everything changes. You start to eat better, sleep better, and think more clearly. Why? Because your body is a loyal follower of your mind, and your mind is galvanized by purpose. When you declare, "I am not finished," your biology listens, your brain rewires, your nervous system re-engages. You stop drifting and start steering again. Don't fall for the myth that your most important years are over. Don't believe that retirement is a synonym for retreat. You do not retire from being a source of love, wisdom, or support. You do not retire from leading your own life. If you are breathing, you have a part to play. Don't be a passive observer of your days. Don't let time simply happen to you. The clock is ticking, yes, but the critical question is this: are you still in the game? Purpose will not find you. You must build it. You build it with your choices, your attention, and your will. Choose something, anything, that makes showing up worthwhile, because the moment you live without purpose, your body begins to ask why it should stay, and the moment you give it a reason, it remembers how to live, and it begins to rebuild you from the inside out. You don't need a grand legacy, but you do need a reason, a pet, a project, a person, a promise. Anything that tells you I still matter. The ultimate truth is this: people don't die of old age. They die when they stop fully participating in their own lives. Don't wait for decline to be your motivation. Choose to live now, with deliberate movement, with nourishing fuel, with genuine connection, with restorative sleep, and with unwavering purpose. Because the finish line is never guaranteed, but how you run the race is entirely up to you.